You know how some people make business look easy? Like they've got it all figured out? They're growing their businesses like it's second nature, while you're just trying to get through your email inbox without losing your mind. I get it. When I first started, I thought it was all about the grind. The more I worked, the more I'd succeed. But then I learned the hard way. Working harder isn't always the answer. So today, in a few minutes, I'm going to give you a straightforward crash course on everything business. Real research-backed tips that can actually make a difference. Sound good? Grab your coffee, take some notes, let's dive in. Let's start with mindset, because that is where everything begins. I know, you're probably thinking, Rashid, we get it. Mindset is important. But seriously, let's talk about why clarity as a mindset is the real game changer. Did you know? Harvard Business Review found that entrepreneurs with clarity on their goals are 33% more likely to succeed than those who don't. Isn't that crazy? Most founders don't start with clarity. They jump into the hustle because they think they need to do everything. Now, I've been there. I spent the first year of my business just reacting to everything. Every client request, every new idea. I didn't have a clear roadmap, and it showed. I was burning out, and the business was growing extremely slowly. But then I got serious about defining my why. Why was I really doing this? What value did I want to create? What kind of lifestyle did I want? What did success really look like for me? Once I got clear on that, it was like flipping a switch. Suddenly, I knew exactly where I was heading. And that clarity gave me the confidence to say no to distractions. And that, my friend, is a game changer. So I'd like you to sit down for 10 minutes and write down your 3-year vision for your business. What does it look like? What milestones do you want to hit? Once you do that, everything else falls into place. Next up, let's talk about the numbers. I know, the boring stuff, right? And I'll tell you right now, most entrepreneurs skip over this step, thinking it's something they can do later. Spoiler alert, you can't. Here's another crazy stat. 70% of small businesses fail because they don't manage cash flow properly. So if you're not tracking your profit, expenses, cash flow, you are flying blind. Now, I wasn't always the best at this. Early on, I thought as long as the money was coming in, I was doing fine. But guess what? I wasn't really paying attention to the details. And that's where I got stuck. I'll give you an example of another client, Anand. He was in the same boat. He thought more clients equals more revenue. But when we dug into his finances, we realized he was spending more than he was bringing in. So we started focusing on tracking customer lifetime value and profit margins. And once we did that, that gave him the confidence that led to his revenue doubling. And he actually got more time back because he wasn't chasing new clients non-stop. So my tip for you, get a really simple cash flow forecast set up for the next 3 to 6 months. Look at your revenue, expenses, and profits regularly. Track it like a hawk, even if it's just once a month. Now on to the fun stuff, systems. Here's the deal. You cannot hustle your way to freedom, so let's get that out of the way. Let's be real. It'll burn you out faster than you can say, entrepreneur. And I learned this the hard way as well. I was all about the hustle. More work, longer hours. I thought if I'm grinding every day, I'm winning. But I was losing my energy, my sanity, and my focus. The shift came when I started systemizing everything. I implemented automation tools, created checklists, and gave my team ownership. And guess what happened? My business started running itself. I want to talk about Ananya for a second, a founder who runs a small design agency. She was in the weeds of day-to-day operations, from managing client communications to constantly chasing leads. Sound familiar? She was handling everything manually. Every proposal, every follow-up, every report. She thought that was the only way to keep things truly in her control. But we implemented a few simple systems together, like automating client onboarding emails, setting up proposal templates, and using a simple CRM to track leads. Guess what? Within a couple of months, her team's productivity doubled and her client acquisition rate increased by 25%. And the best part? she was finally able to take weekends off, something she hadn't done in a year. So first step for you, pick one process in your business today, like client onboarding or follow-ups, and look at automating it. It'll free up tons of time and energy for you. All right, now let's talk about the big bad world of sales. Because let's be honest, no matter how much you hustle or work, if you don't have a sales system, your business won't scale. Here's the hard truth. 80% of sales happen between the 5th and 12th contact with a potential customer. So if you're sending one follow-up email and giving up, you are doing it wrong. When I first started, my sales process was, let's just say chaotic. I relied on referrals and hoping that leads would convert. But when I started building a sales system with clear follow-up steps, qualifying questions, and a sales pipeline that I could manage, everything changed. And it did for Sakshi as well, who was doing great in terms of getting leads, but struggling to convert them. We built a simple, repeatable sales process. Leads came from Instagram, followed by an email, and then a phone call. In a couple of months, her conversion rate was way up. Really simple, but really effective. So my tip for you, set up a sales pipeline with clear stages. Lead qualification, pitch, close, and track every lead through it. And if you can, automate your follow-ups and make sure you're not skipping these steps. Finally, I want to zoom out and talk about building a sustainable business. If you're running a business that only works when you're working, you don't have a business, you have a job. The research is clear. Businesses with strong teams and delegated responsibilities are 70% more likely to grow sustainably. But you can't do it all yourself. You need a team that takes ownership and systems that run when you step away. Take Suman, another client of mine. She was stuck doing everything. Client calls, design work, admin. When we worked together, we identified the tasks she needed to focus on and delegated the rest to her team. Her revenue nearly doubled over the course of a year, and she started taking her weekends off. So how can you get there? The first step is to identify tasks that only you can do and start delegating the rest. Start by hiring for admin or operations to just take the pressure off. This will free up your time to grow and scale. So there you have it. That's my 10-minute crash course on business essentials. Clarity, understanding your numbers, systems, sales processes, and sustainability. These are the keys to scaling your business without burning out. And if you start applying them today, trust me, you will see things start to shift. If you're ready to get more personalized help, take the 3-question quiz below and match with a coach who can take your business to the next level. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss more value-packed videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter.